Welcome to the best of high school sports in Northern California. We are the B Prep Show.
And we're coming to you from one of the storied venues in all of Northern California, McClatchy High School, home of the Lions in Sacramento.
Welcome back for another edition of the B Prep Show. I'm Mike Finnerty, joined as always by Joe Davidson, the Sacramento Bee, and we are coming to you from storied McClatchy High School in Sacramento.
Oh yeah, in the heart of the Sacramento City Unified School District, the Lions Den. This school has been here since 1937. It's an academic boot camp. It's an athletic powerhouse over the years, and the defining image on this campus is this old gym. And if you look around, Mike, it looks a little bit more polished, a little bit cleaner. It's got newer lights. It's got a sanded floor. It's got a polished floor. It's got hoops on the side of the wall here that are glass. No more of these chain operation to hoist those things up. And Rob Fikert, the longtime athletic director here at McClatchy, said, we used to have the most buffed, best bicep janitors in all the district. Now they have a switch to turn on, but it's polished and it's newer, but it has that old school flavor here. And we're going to have a girls basketball game here, McClatchy versus longtime rival Sacramento, to show you some of that energy.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, all the things that McClatchy has, they also have the #1 ranked girls basketball team in the Sacramento area per our B rankings. All right, Joe, loads to cover in the show. We're going to catch up with some former high school basketball stars from Sacramento doing some big things with the UC Davis men's team. We're going to have 1 versus 2 in boys highlights. We got more on that, though.
Oh, yeah, we also have some news out of the Bay Area. Sarah of San Mateo, home of Tom Brady. He's not involved in this one. This isn't a deflate gate. It is a pulling out of a competition that cost Sarah of San Mateo 2 playoff berths in the next 2 years. We'll talk about that and more. Sanctions are heavy there. Also some area coaching news of note. I'll pick your brain on that later. A legendary coach from yesteryear reemerges.
Sounds good, but let's get started with our highlights. We've got our Les Schwab game of the week. It's #1 versus 2. You got the Folsom Bulldogs taking on the Wood Creek Timberwolves. It's a Sierra Foothill League showdown from Folsom High School, where it was a packed crowd on hand, including that of DeMarcus Cousins of the Sacramento Kings, all to see the host and B#1 ranked Bulldogs, who are taking on the #2 Wood Creek Timberwolves. And we'll get you right to the action. Late first quarter, it's Wood Creek's Malcolm Thomas Jr. finishing at the other end to go up 11-6. But as the quarter came to a close, the Bulldogs go inside to Josiah DeGuara. That's going to tie it up at 13-all. Midway through the second quarter now, DeGuara is going to find Trey Finch. Tough shot there, Bulldogs by 6, but here comes Wood Creek. Noah Blackwell hits a 3, and then moments later, it's Jordan Brown with the fadeaway, and then Brown again. He's going to put the Timberwolves on top by 1 with 3:30 left in the half, and it would be Wood Creek that would head to the break up by 6 at 29-23. Watch this now, final moments of the third quarter when Ford's going to hit this tough off-balance shot. He gets it to go, Folsom to within 2 at 40-38. The fourth quarter was a battle. Blackwell's going to drive, kick it out to Grady Collins, who nails a 3 to put Wood Creek to within 2 at 5:30 left. Then, with 2 minutes left to play, Ford connects on this 3 to put Folsom up 54-51. And what do you do next? You're going to turn to Ford. He's going to take care of business late as Folsom gets a 57-53 win. A battle everyone expected and a good test for the Bulldogs.
We had a rough night from the beginning and seemed to be just clawing back from behind almost the entire game. And it just couldn't get over the hump. We got a tie, but then we just fall back. And it just seemed like we were always fighting uphill. Then we had a weird shot at the end of the quarter that it was just a bizarre play. I hope you got it on tape. And that seemed to kind of ignite Jordan, and that got us centered a little bit and feeling more positive. And for whatever reason, it just kind of changed the tone of the way we were playing. And we were able to eke out a win over a team that played really hard, and I got to give them a lot of credit. They really prepared well for us and gave us a lot of problems.
We came out pretty slow. You know, we weren't really moving the ball as well, but then you know, we got the rhythm back. I came in, hit my jumpers more, you know, hit shots, you know, and it really opened the team's game.
I was struggling with my shot in the beginning, and you know, I just thought to myself, I just got to keep shooting. My team needed me to score down the stretch, and I made a couple big shots.
We head out to Liberty Ranch High School in Gulf for a battle of 4-0 teams in the Sierra Valley Conference. It's the Cordova Lancers and the section's leading scorer, Jordan Roberson, going up against another scoring sensation in DeAndre Stallings for the Hawks. It was an outstanding start to this game for Cordova. This three by Christian Munoz made it a 15-point lead in the first, and the Lancers would finish out the quarter up 23-8. Liberty Ranch picked it up in the second with Stallings getting the Hawks to within 9 with 3:37 left in the half, but the Lancers kept the pressure on and would go to the break up 42-30. Liberty Ranch made it a game late in the third. Isaiah Halsey's steal at midcourt and layup at the other end would cut the lead to just 4 at 64-60. But again, Cordova answers, this time with 7 straight points capped off by a Roberson triple. He would finish with a game-high 44 points. Just too many weapons for the Lancers. They put this game away in the fourth and take it by a final of 97-82. Lewis had 20 to go with Roberson's 44. And Liberty Ranch, it was Stallings with 37, but this was definitely Roberson's night.
Well, I mean, we started off a little slow, and we picked it up towards the end of the game, and we had to make a couple of stops. And, we played hard together. And, we've been together for a couple of years now, and we've got to stay focused on the next game.
Liberty Ranch, a newer school in Galt, had its 18-game winning streak snapped. No big deal how the teams respond. We caught up to Coach Josh Williams after the game. We're very impressed. He's one of the great young coaches. They have real-life issues going on with this program, and Ryan Stover, jersey number 25, is laid out on their bench before every game. Senior assistant coach died on the eve of the season with a heart attack. Terrible, and they're dealing with that. And they also have another player of note. Zach Justice is a senior guard, and he is dealing with Crohn's disease. And doctor said maybe he shouldn't play basketball. He thought about it. He feels like he needs to play basketball for his good spirit. Josh Williams for playing him, starting him. It's all the right humanitarian reasons. That's what's fun about high school sports. Kudos to that, and good to see.
And they're playing well, and you got to
playing really well.
You got to like all those things. All right, Joe, enough of us. We got more hoops highlights. We'll wrap up our boys action with a good one between the Bella Vista Broncos, winners of 4 straight, playing host to the Antelope Titans. Both teams enter the game at 4-1, tied for first in the Capital Valley Conference. With Bella Vista up 32-25 at the half, we're going to pick it up in the third when Blake Brady knocks down the baseline jumper to make it a 10-point Broncos advantage. Bella Vista continued to hit one big shot after the next. It would send the Broncos to the fourth up by 10. Late in the game, Antelope went on a run. High Tees ahead to Kyle Durham, who lays it up and in, getting to within 2. And then a short time later, it's Tees with a spin move. He connects. That ties it 54, all with 3 minutes left to play. You've got Brady in the corner to put the Broncos up 58-54. With big plays down the stretch for the Titans. They get this loose ball, put it back in, cutting the Bella Vista lead to 1. And then here is Mr. Hero from three-point land. He sinks it. Titans now lead by 2 with 1:10 left. Final moments of the game, Antelope with the ball, but the Bella Vista defense comes up big, gets a steal. They look to David Cunningham in the corner for that game winner, but he can't get it to go as Antelope comes back and gets a 60-58 win and now sits tied atop the CVC standings with Cosumnes Oaks.
All right, Mike, good stuff, but we know we have more.
We do. We've got girls basketball highlights coming up. We've got wrestling in the Tim Brown Memorial. And later on the show, we're going to catch up with those former superstars from this area who are now doing big things for the UC Davis basketball team. Stick around.
This is your RAM Auto Update.
Just in, the classic term used car is old-fashioned, outdated, and no longer of any particular relevance. Let's party. The Roseville Auto Mall is throwing a massive factory-certified pre-owned sales event. That means incredible savings on just about every kind of car in the world. All factory certified. It's happening now. It's going fast. In layman terms, skedaddle. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
We want to thank our title sponsors, Save Mart Supermarkets. Shop Save Mart up and down the Central Valley.
All right, welcome back to the very best of high school sports in Northern California. Big emphasis right here in our coverage area of Sacramento. We are the B Prep Show. Mike, there's always news and notes with football, and we'll talk about a Northern California football powerhouse in a later segment on how sanctions will ground them from the playoffs, and it's a real concern for a lot of people, so we'll talk about that. And also, Danielle Viglione got inducted into the Sacramento Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame over the weekend. She is an all-time great basketball player from Del Campo High School. We'll talk about her work ethic and what she's doing now. there's always stuff going on.
Yeah, and later on the show, we'll catch up some former high school basketball stars who are doing some big things with the very good UC Davis men's basketball team. But it's girls hoops highlights now. We've got the number 7 Intercom Tigers playing host to the number 10 Rio Linda Knights, and it was a good one. Two teams battling in the Tri-County Conference are the Intercom Tigers, 4-0 in league and winners of 11 straight, scoring off against the 4-0 Rio Linda Knights, winners of 7 straight games. Something had to give. To Intercom High School we go, and it was Rio Linda grabbing an early 8-4 lead behind the play of freshman Michaela Sanders. She would finish the game with 31 points. After that, Intercom went on an 11-0 run with Deja Williams getting some easy baskets here. You also had Schmier, Mishan, Baldwin knocking down a big shot, and Maria Torres showing what she can do with a nice touch and a 7-point lead early in the second. Rio Linda cut the lead to 3 with 4:50 left in the half, but Intercom's Kalaya Daniel and Tiffany Montez connected on some big shots to end the half with Intercom up 26-18. Second half now was much like the first half. Rio Linda never gave up, stayed close, but Daniel was tough to stop all night and led the Tigers with 19 points and 10 rebounds. Kalaya Griffin was terrific as well. She had 12 points and 6 assists as Intercom prevails 61-53, taking over sole possession of first in the TCC. One of the more prestigious tournaments in the area is the annual Tim Brown Memorial, and at the Jackson Sports Academy on Saturday, some of the best wrestlers in Northern California went at it once again, and highlighting the afternoon for the local wrestlers was the performance of Folsom's Curtis Booth in the 126-pound division. Booth dominated Jesuits Anthony Wesley going up 5-0 and then 7-0 before putting the match away with an 11-4 win. In 14 weight classes, the only other Sacramento area wrestler to take first place was Casa Roble's Jacob Minshew in the heavyweight division. Minshew won by forfeit over Dominic Balmer of Wood Creek, who was out injured. For the team competition, Del Oro finished in second and Folsom took third.
All right, Mike, good stuff. As you can see, there's always so much energy and passion in these wrestling tournaments, and we have so many good players and athletes in wrestling in the Sac Joaquin section. Some of these guys are expecting state championship. Section championship's nice. They want the gold.
Yeah, many of these guys who had big wins over the weekend will be guys that we expect to do the same thing in the section championships. All right, Joe, it's now time for our school's financial credit union Game On Athlete of the Week as we caught up with McClatchy basketball star Gigi Garcia. All right, here she is, a 6'2" forward for the powerhouse McClatchy Lions. Gigi, great year for you, playing very well. What's the difference, say, from your sophomore year to now your junior year?
I think just the fact that we're losing a lot of people this year, so I think just having to step up, getting older.
You come from a great athletic family. Your father, Aaron, was an all-time great quarterback. Your mom, Shelby, played at El Camino High School and at Sacramento State. What did you learn growing up with them and now?
Competitiveness for sure, teamwork. They really taught me how to come out here and have fun but still find a way to win.
So can Dad shoot? Can he shoot the rock? Mm-hmm. Who's got the edge there?
Or just throw the rock, huh?
No, my dad can shoot. We play all the time, so sometimes he beats me.
Who are the schools looking at you? You're a pretty good recruit because you could dribble, you could run the floor, you have a pretty good skill set. Who are some of the schools looking at you?
Nebraska, Utah, UCLA, USC. It's always exciting to have big name schools talking to you, but it can get a lot sometimes.
As you look ahead to that point, do you think of what you might major in? Is that even in your mind at this point as a junior?
I've thought of kinesiology for sure, but I also think of possibly going into dentistry after this. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I'm sure you have a lot of options, obviously, Joe. And they got a great team, and we got to ask you, can this team get over the hump this year? You had a great year last year. Is this the team that's going to get where you want to get to?
I really hope so, and I believe so, so yes.
But you're going to need everyone, right?
For sure, yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Great job by Gigi Garcia this year. A lot of pressure on her. She's a junior national recruit because she could rebound, she could run the floor, and all these things, but she's also had to burden the loss of her front court mate, Destiny Lee, who's out with a stress fracture. Who knows when she comes back. She handles it with great aplomb and good attitude. And her father, her old man, Aaron Garcia, he is old, sits in the stand, and he's so proud. Aaron was a great player for Grant High School back in the 80s, long-time career in the Arena Football League, and he said, geez, I wish I could hoop like she could.
Well, he's got the football bragging rights, and she has the basketball bragging rights.
That's right.
There. All right, Joe, when we come back from the break, we are going to catch up with some former high school basketball stars now doing big things with the UC Davis men's basketball team. And, Joe, what else we got?
Well, we got a legendary softball coach who has reemerged in Placer County. This is big news. Some of you know well. And then ripples of sanctions, CIF sanctions, hammering a Northern California longtime football program, what it means to them and the rest of the Northern California field.
Yep. Stick around. We'll be right back.
There's a history you feel when you visit any of the Von Hausen automotive dealerships. You'll sense the quality of Mercedes-Benz, and you'll experience the low-pressure atmosphere that comes from 2 generations of family ownership. Mercedes-Benz of Sacramento, Mercedes-Benz of El Dorado Hills, and Mercedes-Benz of Rockland. 3 great reasons to drive one of the world's best automobiles. Come feel the difference or visit vonhausen.com.
We'd like to thank our sponsors, starting with Save Mart Supermarkets, where fresh comes first. Shop at Save Mart up and down the Central Valley. Schools Financial Credit Union, banking for everyone, value, convenience, and emerging technology. Von Hausen Automotive Group, celebrating 50 years with Mercedes-Benz. Stop dreaming and start driving. Roseville Auto Mall. If you're looking for a used car, go to the Roseville Auto Mall with over 6,000 vehicles to choose from. And Les Schwab Tires. Since 1952, we promise we'll get you more for your money.
Welcome back to the very best of high school sports in Northern California. Big emphasis right here in our home coverage region of Sacramento. We are the B Prep Show. Mike, one of the fun things about this job is following the progress of athletes. And what do they do in high school? What do they do in college? And sometimes in the pros. Miguel Aguilar of Encina High School in the San Juan Unified School District was a first-round draft pick of the Major League Soccer to DC United. He is a success story. Marcus Bertone of the Sacramento Bee caught up to him. He stopped by his old campus of Encina and said, hey, I used to sit in those same seats. I used to go home to an empty refrigerator. I dealt with poverty. I embraced soccer and school. If I made it, you can make it. And it was, as you can see with these photos, the school was delighted to have him back. And you've seen Miguel Aguilar play. We know this is a great area for soccer. MLS just got a great humanitarian guy who's got great soccer skills, and I think it's neat to see. We'll be looking forward to watching him play.
Very humble, and he remembers where he come from, and that's important. Those kids will look up to him and say, hey, never know, the same thing could happen to them. All right, Joe, you and I had a chance to bounce out to UC Davis, the rec hall they used to call it, and they're playing well.
The pavilion now.
Team is on fire. Well, they've got 3 former local high school stars on their team: JT Adenrele from Oakmont, Josh Richard, Forest Lake Christian, and Darius Graham of Sac High. 3 terrific players, but 3 great guys.
Yeah, and we caught up to them and picked their brains. They're considerable brains. Their brains are much stronger than ours. And here's what they had to say on a various amount of topics.
The UC Davis men's basketball team is having an outstanding season this year, ranked as high as number 17 in the mid-major top 25, and 3 key starters on this year's team are all local products. Senior Josh Richard, Forest Lake Christian 2010, junior JT Adenrele, Oakmont 2011, and sophomore Darius Graham 2012 out of Sac High. When looking back at their days in high school, it's nothing but fond memories.
A lot of great friends that I still am in contact with daily. You know, I feel like it kind of helped me prepare for the next level. It's a small school. A lot of people don't think, you know, it's like the level of competition isn't necessarily the highest, but, you know, I feel like it helped me because I was going against, you know, 2-3 defenders every night. So I got, you know, kind of learned how to become a better player playing, like, you know, going against 2 or 3 defenders as opposed to just one guy. So I felt like it helped me grow as a player, and I liked my experience there a lot. I loved it there.
Great memories, honestly. I mean, playing with Tony Gill, guys like Fred Mobley, Matt Daly, Alex Ford, we had a great team back then, I feel like. And even the coaching staff, too. It was a great group of guys, and it was a great experience for me to play in. I mean, I've seen Tony. I haven't seen Tony maybe a year now. Actually, no, I saw him maybe last month, but I haven't seen a lot of those guys in a long time now. So it'll be great to see them again, but it was a great group of guys, you know, when I was in high school.
So with everything going so well this season, what has been the team's key to success?
Great chemistry this year. We have 4 leaders in Corey Hawkins, Josh Richard, Tyler Less, and Avery Johnson, and they really kind of take Coach's message that he's been preaching for as long as he's been here, but they take that message and they kind of make it our own. You mean, it's one thing hearing the message from the coach, but it's another thing when you hear it from your people that you can relate to.
As for Graham, he's the starting point guard, leads his team in assists, and his job is to take Coach Les's message to the floor.
I put upon myself to be a coach on the floor. You know, I talk to Coach Les all the time just about, you know, what he sees, what he wants to happen. I try to, you know, portray that on the court. So I try to show my teammates, you know, what to do, where to be at, and I just do it all the time.
It hasn't all been good times for Graham, Richard, and Denverley. They have come back from last year's injuries, and despite the frustration of rehabbing and missing games, they've also learned something about the process.
I got a stress fracture in my leg, and it kind of had started, but it kind of just like, there was a moment when we were playing in Utah, I took a charge, and the guy kind of just landed right on it. It kind of just aggravated even more.
Of course, any injury that serious, like, to just make you sit out for the entire season, it's going to put you under some like stress and like pressure, I feel like.
Off the court, I was just like, you know, couldn't walk very well, and the coaches, you know, just decided to shut me down and get ready for this year. But so it was tough last year. You know, I never had an injury like that, kind of having to be out. So it was tough not to be out there with my teammates, especially when we were struggling.
At first, I was very frustrated with like myself and like the process of rehab and everything. But as I continue to go through rehab, I realized that it's more of a blessing in disguise.
It was just kind of, you know, helped me learn and grow in other parts of the game, just like patience, you know, kind of reading the game, learning the game even better.
I got an extra year now, and I really got to develop my game. I feel like I'm more mature on the court and in the locker room, as well in the classroom. So I feel like it was really an opportunity for me to like calm myself and get back to what I love doing and playing basketball. So, I mean, I'm not saying I'm glad it happened, but almost I'm looking on the bright side of things.
I just took it as an opportunity to get better. And I'm excited for the opportunity it presented, you know, now to be here with this team and, you know, have the success we've been having this year.
Head coach Jim Les played for the Sacramento Kings in the early 1990s as part of his 7-year NBA career. In 1991, Les competed in the NBA All-Star Game's three-point competition, and according to Graham, Coach has still got it.
Coach can shoot. Sometimes he plays little shooting games with us, and it's crazy. He'll talk mess to us and just keep hitting shots. I'm just like, man, this dude just got it. You know, and shooters, you know, they never lose that. So he just does it all the time.
All right, Mike, you can see the pride and the joy that they have. It's great to be a winning program. And these guys have all overcome serious injuries to bounce back strong. Paramount, and Coach Jim Les raved about all of them. There's the stars from yesteryear, the stars now, but we got some stars to look for now.
We do. As we do every week, we honor two athletes. We'll do it once again with our Von Hausen Stars of the Week. This week's Von Hausen Stars of the Week are Jordan Roberson of Cordova and Kalia Daniel of Intercom. Roberson, the 6'2", 220-pound guard for the Lancers, helped lead his team to a pair of wins, including a win over Liberty Ranch and a battle for first place in the Sierra Valley Conference standings. In that game, Roberson scored 44 points. 2 nights earlier, Roberson had 30 against El Dorado. As for Daniel, the senior forward had big performances and wins over number 10 Rio Linda, and then later in the week over Pioneer. Daniel averaged 18 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals as the Tigers improved to 18-2 on the season.
A credit union is a not-for-profit member-owned financial institution. Can your bank say that? Demand more from your financial institution. Make the switch to Schools Financial Credit Union for low loan rates, state-of-the-art technology, making accounts accessible anytime, anywhere, and more ATMs than most major banks. Anyone who lives, works, or worships in Sacramento and its surrounding counties is eligible to join. Be part of the credit union difference and bank happily ever after with Schools.
We want to thank our title sponsors, Save Mart Supermarkets. Shop Save Mart up and down the Central Valley.
All right, welcome back to the very best of high school sports in Northern California and Sacramento in particular. We are the B Prep Show. Mike, some news and notes around Northern California. We're going to start off with some serious CIF sanctions levied on Sarah of San Mateo, football powerhouse in the Bay Area. That's where Tom Brady went to school. There's nothing to do with deflated footballs, but it has a lot to do with deflated morale right now. In short, the Padres of San Mateo were hit with a 2-year playoff ban for declining to play in a Central Coast Section consolation football game. They basically left Milpitas High, their opponent, hanging hours before the game. First of all, why is there a consolation bracket? That was a first-time trial basis. Maybe they need to ditch that. But second of all, the CIF and the Central Coast Section in particular hammered them hard. They're going to try to appeal, but you have to follow the rules, and you have to follow through on sportsmanship. But 2 years without the playoffs is a tough pill to swallow.
Well, you have a consolation game probably for money. You know, it brings in another game. It probably brings in money. I hate to make any accusations, but that would be a general theme for me. But too bad for Sarah. You know, they should have showed up. All right,
That's
Joe.
right.
A legendary softball coach is coming back to coach this year. He skipped last year. Art Banks, the longtime Wood Creek coach who was there from 1994 to 2013, won 3 section championships. Well, he took last year off, and he is now back. He'll be coaching the Roseville Tigers. He's got a good team, Joe. He's got a gruff personality. He's tough, but he's a heck of a coach, and he'll definitely make them better.
Well, and Mike, it's interesting about coaches, and we've reported on this show in the last couple of weeks. Coaches in their 40s have stepped out of football grind because they're cooked. Some guys like Art Banks in his 60s, sorry to age you, Coach, but they can't get away. And I think it's a double bonus to have a guy who's retired, but he's still coaching and mentoring, and you've seen him for a long time. You know he's an impact.
Yeah, and he is going back to the school where he started, Roseville.
Right.
So he coached wrestling there, softball, I think football as well. So a nice little homecoming for Mr. Art Banks, who is a retired teacher. So he's just coaching. What else we got?
Danielle Viglione is one of the great names in Sac Joaquin Section basketball lore, and she's a Sac Joaquin Section Hall of Famer. She's from Del Campo High School, just got inducted over the weekend to the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame. Her whole foundation is work ethic, and when she was a player in the early 1990s at Del Campo High School, her coach then, Paul Roman, used to hold a broom and swat away all of her shots, forcing her to lift her shot above her head so she could shoot. She set all kinds of national high school records for three-point shots, went to University of Texas, set NC2A Division I records as a three-point shooter, played a little bit for the Monarchs in their first season, the Sacramento Monarchs, played 10 years overseas, Turkey, Spain, had a great time, and is so tickled and so honored, and she is now coaching and mentoring a lot of young athletes, girls and boys, on work ethic, shooting, conditioning. And her whole motto is, the one thing you can control is your effort. And she's an effort. She's an example. She's a Hall of Famer. She deserves it. Neat to see.
Yeah, an all-time area great for this region. All right, Joe, what a show, packed. I think we covered it all once again. Folks, if you want to see the show, you do so every Tuesday. You turn into Comcast Sportsnet California. Shows air Tuesdays, roughly around 4:30, but check your local listings. Shows will re-air Wednesdays, Thursdays, sometimes Fridays, but if you miss it on TV, you can see it online.
Easy. SacB.com. Every day we have stories, photo galleries, links, previous shows, and all that. It's a lot of menu of fun there. And, Mike, in the coming weeks, we're going to catch up to Andrew Susak, the former Jesuit high school standout in Sacramento, now with the San Francisco Giants, right before the eve of spring training. There are athletes everywhere doing good things.
And we also catch up with Max Stassi, he of Yuba City legendary fame. He is with the Houston Astros organization. He's kind of been in the minors, been up a little bit, so I know he wants to be with the big
baseball
full time.
Is in the wind.
It is. It's not far around the corner. And in February, we'll do our baseball and softball preseason previews. All right, folks, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.